Calling all authors, the Your Book, Your Voice podcast with host Robert A. Lane features everything you need to know about narrating your audiobook. But it doesn't stop there. We have special guests lined up from all aspects of the book publishing industry, and we also dive deep into what it takes to be mentally prepared for success as an author and in life. So please welcome your host, Robert A. Lane.
Hey, my friends, how are you today? This is the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. I'm your host, Robert A. Lane. I have a business called Robert Lane Coaching, and I am an audiobook coach and producer. That's what I specialize in, helping nonfiction authors like yourself. If you're a nonfiction author and you have a great book that you've published and you've put it out there in the world, yet it is not an audiobook yet, that's where I come in. As an audiobook coach and producer, I help you set up your recording space so you can actually record in your own space. Teach you the fine art of how to do audiobook narration and how to be compelling and engaging so that your audience and your listeners are just on the edge of their seat from opening credits to closing credits. And then the next phase of what I do as an audiobook coach and producer, aside from the coaching aspect, is do all the audio editing for you. Make sure your audio files sound great. Make sure they meet the exact specifications for publication. Upload your files for you so that you can get published on Audible, Amazon, and Apple, and any other distribution platform that sees fit for your marketing strategies. And you can get this all done by the end of the 6-week program. So that's what I do with my audiobook coaching program, which is called Your Book, Your Voice. If you are interested at all, we'll just throw this out right now before we dive into our topic. All you need to do is just schedule a call with me, book an audiobook consultation call with me. There's a graphic there on the screen that has the web link that you can go ahead and join. For those of you, maybe if you're listening to the podcast and you're not seeing the visual, the link is bit.ly/audiobook onboarding. Again, that's bit.ly/audiobook onboarding. Let's talk about your book. I want to hear about it anyway, and then I'll give you more details about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program and how you can get involved and enrolled in the program. And let's get that audiobook done in your own voice, because no one can speak your story better than you. You lived it, you breathed it, it's your story, all right? The other thing that I wanted to share with you, of course, is that there is a free audiobook narration reference guide that you can download for free. It's a PDF download that has a lot of great information and some tools and techniques on how to do a great audiobook narration, from the practical aspects to the intangibles. And you can grab that as well. You can always go to robertlanecoaching.com because all this information is up there as well. But if you want to grab that audiobook narration reference guide, the link is bit.ly/narration reference guide. All right, bit.ly/narration reference guide. All right. Okay, my friends, we're ready to dive into our topic today, which is you are the boss of your author brand. You are the boss. And by the way, since we are streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network, you can participate if you like. You can see the phone number there on the screen. And of course, you can always join in on the chat as well. So please feel free to join in. We'd love to hear from you and hear about your book as well. And of course, if you have any questions, by all means, would love to hear from you. All right, so you're the boss of your author brand. You are the boss of your author brand. Catchphrase, of course, is you are the CEO of you. I say it all the time because it is true. Because you are the CEO of you. You're the boss. You are the head honcho, the big cheese, the big kahuna. Oh man, this reminds me of that movie Airplane, which came out, oh my God, a long time ago. Funny movie, stupidly funny, but just a funny movie. And there's a scene where one of the characters is naming off all these things about the head honcho, big boss, big cheese, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, talking about somebody in charge. It's just a funny scene. Anyway, maybe you haven't seen the movie. Look it up. Airplane, funny film. I think you'll really enjoy it. And that actually relaunched Leslie Nielsen's career as a comedic actor, because he was a serious actor until he did Police Squad and then Airplane and then The Naked Gun and then all those other movies that came out. Really funny. So anyway, I know it's a little off there from our topic, but I thought, hey, check it out, because they're talking about being the big boss, and you are the big boss. So the first thing that I want you to understand as an author is your author brand, okay? What is your author brand? It is everything that encompasses who you are. Everything from how you were brought up as a child, and things that you experienced throughout your life, and your sense of humor and your personality, and everything that has molded you into the unique individual that you are. That's your author brand, because your unique style, your unique voice, your authenticity, everything about you is already in your written word with the nonfiction book that you wrote in the first place. Even if you're a coach or an entrepreneur, or maybe you're an educator or a teacher, and maybe your book is very methodical, but still, it's your personality and the way you speak in the written word that makes you unique. And that is what encompasses your author brand, especially when it comes to narrating your audiobook. This is why I say all nonfiction authors need to narrate their own audiobook, because it's your story, and that preserves the integrity of your author brand, because you're just bringing what you've written down on paper or in the computer or in your book, your ebook, paperback, or hardcover. You're just bringing it to life in your own voice, and it's guaranteed to be expressed exactly the way that you intended it to be heard, because it's you. It's you narrating your audiobook. It's in your own voice. And even if you haven't done any kind of speaking, that's why I do what I do as an audiobook coach and producer, is teaching you how to do it and do it great. And you will be great. You really will be great. It's funny. I post a lot on my YouTube channel, Robert Lane Coaching, and I posted something talking about exactly this, that no one can tell your story better than you as the author. And then somebody put on, and I found it very funny, said, well, you've never heard of Morgan Freeman. Well, of course I've heard of Morgan Freeman. And I laughed about that, because I even used that as one of the examples when I wrote my book and did my audiobook. I'm like, yeah, Morgan Freeman would have been awesome as a narrator. But again, the problem with that, and with any narrator, no matter how good they are, and I love Morgan Freeman's voice, but it's still his interpretation or any other narrator's interpretation. It's not yours. So the way that they express it is going to be the way that they think it should be expressed, which may not correlate and just go along the same lines of how you would express your book, especially a nonfiction book, because again, it's your story. So there are subtle nuances, there are phrases, or maybe even paragraphs or concepts that are in your book that maybe you're like, I wouldn't really have expressed it that way. I would have said it this way. Again, that is why it's so important for you to narrate your own audiobook. But I thought it was a funny comment. And I get what they're saying. But when it comes to nonfiction books, you as the author are the one person who is most qualified to narrate your audiobook. 100%. Stand by that. All right. So again, understanding and embracing your author brand. It is who you are. Now, again, your products, ebook, paperback, hardcover, and especially your audiobook, those are your products, and everything has to be top notch. All right. So that's the first thing about being the boss of your author brand, is really understanding what it is. And remember, you published a book, so you are a professional. You are a professional, and you have now become an entrepreneur, whether you like it or not. And I'm sure you do, because, hey, you wrote a book. You put all this time and effort in creating an awesome book. And, now if you decide to do your audiobook, which all of you should as a nonfiction author, you definitely need to narrate your own audiobook. That's a great piece of the puzzle, another great product that you can just add to that arsenal of great products that you have with your ebook, paperback, and hardcover. Great stuff. All right. So understanding your author brand and having the best products out there that represent your author brand are crucial. Okay. So just embrace your entrepreneurship, because you're now a professional. You've created a book, and that now has turned you into an entrepreneur, which is a great thing. All right. It's a great thing. So the next thing to really absorb your bossness is to adopt some of the crucial skills that you need as an entrepreneur. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because you are the boss of your entrepreneurial brand, which is your author brand. You are an entrepreneur, so just embrace that. And we're going to talk about 5 basic skills and traits that you need to have as an entrepreneur, as an author. And again, these are things, of course, with any business that you need to have to be great at what you do. So we're just going to go through a list of 5. There's like 5 crucial pieces of the puzzle that you have to have as an author and as an entrepreneur. All right. Because again, you are the CEO of you. All your decisions are based on you. All right. The buck stops with you. So make sure that the decisions that you make move your business forward as an author. And as we move along with going through each of these lists of the top 5 things you need to have and should have as an entrepreneur, we will definitely cover some of the things about investing and taking calculated risks and all those kind of things as well. But I do want to start with number 1. And number 1 of being your boss, being your own boss of your author brand, is you have to be a leader. And that's kind of obvious, but you are a leader. Again, you are the CEO of you. So not only do you have to be a leader, you have to show leadership, but you have to have great management skills as well. And not just only management skills for yourself, because again, since you're the CEO of you, you're the boss of yourself, you need to be able to lead and manage yourself, but you also have to have skills to be able to manage a team, because you are going to eventually build a team as you build your author brand. It's like when you wrote your book. If you self-published your book, maybe you hired a book coach. I mean, when I wrote my book, I hired a book coach, and that was a great investment into my brand with Robert Lane Coaching. I wanted to write a book that correlated and with what I was doing as career coaching, life coaching at the time, before I dove into the audiobook coaching aspect and expanded into that, but wanted to write a book. So I hired a book coach. And then there are other team members that you need to manage. So again, people management, team management is very important as an entrepreneur. When you wrote your book, maybe you hired an editor and a book formatter, cover designer, or maybe a proofreader, or somebody that helped you with story development. There's a lot of great people out there who have very specific talents that I know I didn't. I'm not a book editor. I'm definitely not a cover designer, and I sure didn't know how to format my book properly. So I hired a great team of people to help me do those things. And again, as an entrepreneur, those are things that you do. And hopefully you did that when you published your book, that you got great people to help you put together a fantastic book, that when you have your book, that here is this self-published book, right? Here is the book that was done by a traditional publisher. And you look at both of these books and you're like, man, I can't tell the difference. They both look great. And they will, and they should. And there really shouldn't be a difference in regards to how a book is perceived. And you wouldn't even know if it was self-published or if it was done by a traditional publisher, because you went through the proper channels. You did it right the first time. And that is, again, great leadership, because you are being an entrepreneur that's making the best decisions that you can make for your business. And that's an awesome thing. So you're already off on a great start. All right. When you wrote your book, you're on your way. You're doing fantastic. All right. So that is, again, a very important thing. And as you build your author brand, when you're going to do marketing, and we'll talk about those aspects as well and promote your book and do all these things for your book. You may need to hire some people to help you do it and help you grow your business as an author. All right. This is the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm your host, Robert A. Lane. We're going to take a quick break. Again, our topic is you are the boss of your author brand. And we're going over 5 crucial skills and techniques and traits that you need to have as an entrepreneur to support your author brand and be a great, great CEO of you, because you are the CEO of you. All right, don't go away, my friends. We're going to hit those other 4 points. Again, the first point is leadership and management, and got 4 other great points that I want to bring to your attention after we come back. So don't go away.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
All right, welcome back to the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm your host, Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. If you want to find out more about what I do as an audiobook coach and producer, by all means, you can just go to my website at robertlanecoaching.com. A lot of great information there. And also for you to book a call with me. If you're a nonfiction author, you don't have your book as an audiobook yet, maybe you're toying with the idea of narrating your own audiobook, as you should, then by all means, book a call with me. I would love to talk with you about your book and give you more details about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, where I take you through the entire process as we work one-on-one together. And by the end of the 6-week program, you would have had your audiobook narrated, recorded, and all your files uploaded for publication into Audible, Amazon, and Apple. Of course, there definitely, and any other distribution platforms if that fits into your marketing strategy. So again, go to robertlanecoaching.com. Everything is there for you to book your call. So I'd love to speak with you. All right. So again, our topic today is you are the boss of your author brand. And 5 traits that you have to have, traits and skills that you need to have as an entrepreneur to enhance and have a successful author brand. This is your business. You are an entrepreneur. You have a published book. That's awesome. You created something from nothing. So you are creative. And that puts you in the entrepreneurial category, which is awesome. Be proud of that. Seriously, that's a great accomplishment. Even if you wrote your book during nights and weekends because you have a day job, you did it. So love and embrace your author brand. It's an awesome thing. All right. And again, if you don't have your book as an audiobook, you got to have it in your own voice, of course, because that is a market that you definitely need to be in, because more and more people are going to audiobooks. They go to Audible to get their audiobooks, and they go there first before they even look at ebook paperbacks and hardcovers. So definitely got to get into that market. All right, so the first skill that I mentioned before we took our break to be an entrepreneur is, of course, leadership and management. Leadership, people management, managing yourself and managing others, and just being a great leader, okay? It is really, really important. And when you're managing a team of people, you also have to understand what their strengths and their weaknesses are, and you play up their strengths and you help them with any areas that they may show some weaknesses. If you have, an assistant or somebody that works for you to help boost your author brand in whatever capacity that you have them working for you, be a great leader. Don't be one of those bosses who are like, mean and think that micromanaging and doing all those things is a benefit, because it's not. Because you want people to want to work for you. You want people to love working with you, and you want people to be loyal to you because you treat them well. So treat the people that you've put together as a team to help you with your author brand, treat them with respect, and they will work for you because they want to. They want to do the best for you, okay? Really important. So let's move on to trait number 2, right? The other skill that you need to have as an entrepreneur. And that is, all of these are important. We're going through the 5 basics, right? This is super important, of course. Resilience, tenacity, and adaptability, all right? You have to have resilience. You have to be tenacious, and you have to be able to adapt, right? Resilience is so important, especially as an entrepreneur, because, hey, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? Everybody would be out there making their, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or whatever they make, millions of dollars. And it'd be great, It's too bad it's not that way. But unfortunately, it isn't. But that doesn't mean that you can't be successful, because you can. And that's where resilience comes in. You're going to have ups and downs in your business. You're going to go through imposter syndrome and think, how can I even write and publish this book? Or I publish this book and I don't even think it's that great. Don't do that to yourself. You created something, right? You created something from nothing. That's a great accomplishment in itself. All right. Now you are putting it out there in the world. Love it and embrace it, because you did the best that you can do at that time. Don't knock yourself for it, all right? And have resilience, and you have to be tenacious. You've got to have tenacity and resilience. I was in a coaching program once a while ago, and they voted me most resilient. I kind of laugh about it now, in a sense, because it's like you have to be. You can't give up. Don't quit. I've shared this story before on the podcasts, previous podcasts, about the miner who was mining for that vein of gold, and he was digging and digging and digging and digging, in the mining shaft, and he gave up. He quit, and he was inches away from hitting the biggest gold vein ever. And then someone else went in and went a couple more inches, and boom, they became, the millionaire that this guy wanted to be, but he quit because he gave up. So don't ever give up, okay? Be resilient, be tenacious. Now, when it comes to adaptability, you have to be able to mold and shape yourself and go along with new things that may occur, or maybe things that have changed. Like if you do something a certain way and then, that doesn't work anymore, or maybe you're going through a certain company or app or something that you've been utilizing. This is great, and then they change it. Well, you have to be adaptable. Okay, you have to be open to change. All right. The other thing about adaptability that I want to share with you is that don't fall for shiny object syndrome. All right, shiny object syndrome is the thing where that new and exciting new way of doing things comes out. This new technology, this new app, this new program, this new website, whatever it is. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I could totally use that. Oh, wait, look at that. Wow, that's neat too. Let me sign up for that. Oh, no, let me sign up for that too. You're just chasing these things That is not being a good leader. So let's go back to number one. Leadership. You're the CEO of you. Analyze these new technologies, these new things, and see if it's something that will help your author brand. Does it help you move your business forward? If it does, great. But don't just follow every new thing that comes out there, all right? And be very careful, all right? Do your research and make sure that it's something that is a tool to help you move your author brand forward. And I say this especially when it comes to audiobook narration, right? AI, of course, is the latest and greatest. Well, if you self-published your book, or even if you had another company publish your book, they go through Amazon and they go through KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. And, not too long ago, Kindle was like, oh, hey, KDP, we offer virtual narrators. And that is the biggest mistake that you can make as an author, because what you're doing is you are taking the easy way out, is really what it comes down to. You're taking the easy way out. You are cheapening your author brand, and you're being lazy because you don't want to do the work. And maybe that sounds harsh, but you know what? In a sense, it's like sorry, not sorry, because this is something that you need to hear. AI is not the solution to preserve the integrity of your author brand. Their virtual narrator is not going to understand the nuances of how you speak and your pacing and your delivery. And again, like I mentioned about the greatest narrator in the world still isn't going to interpret your book the way you intended it to be heard. Definitely not going to happen with AI. So don't cheapen your brand. Don't take the easy way out. Don't cut corners. That's my big piece of advice for you, especially when it comes to audiobooks. You have a great voice. You really do. So love and embrace this wonderful sound that comes out of your body. Love your voice. You have a great voice. Appreciate it, love it, because that is part of your author brand. Remember, author brand encompasses everything about you, voice included. All right? So be adaptable, but don't let these tools replace you, okay? Don't go for the easy way out. Now, I'm not just bagging on AI as like it's the worst thing on the planet, because it's not. And AI, there are things about it that can help you as a tool to learn some things, or maybe like if you go to ChatGPT and say, how can I express something? I want to say this, but it's just I'm not coming up with the right words. Maybe it'll give you an idea, but don't just steal what ChatGPT says, make it into your own voice, right? And then go from there. All right. So you can still utilize AI for things that can help you as a tool to enhance, but don't use it to replace your author brand or your voice or anything, because you don't want to cheapen your author brand, and just do the work, right? Entrepreneurship is work. It takes work. So do the work, all right? Do the work. Be resilient, be tenacious, and be adaptable, but be smart. And don't just follow every new thing that comes out there. There are a lot of great tools that are out there in regards to marketing and creating reels and videos for social media. And then there's all these other things. There are a lot of great things that are out there. So just pick some that resonate with you, that work for you, that help you enhance your author brand, okay? That will help you make you more efficient. And maybe it does make your job as an entrepreneur easier, and that's okay. But don't use it to replace somebody. Don't use it to replace your voice, especially, or anything that has to do with your brand, because protecting the integrity of your author brand is crucial, all right? And remember, you want to have the best quality product out there with everything that you do. And this really applies, especially if you are a coach or an entrepreneur or an educator or a teacher, and maybe you have other products, and maybe you have services that you offer. Maybe you do a coaching service like I do. I coach authors one-on-one. That's part of what I do as my business, but I'm passionate about it and I love it, but I would never utilize something that would jeopardize what I do for my business, and definitely not do anything that would jeopardize the authors that go through my audiobook coaching program. All right. You're listening to the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. Again, excuse me, appreciate you hanging out here as we broadcast live on the Bold Brave TV network. We've covered 2 of the 5 points that I want to go over, things that are crucial to be an entrepreneur. Got 3 more great ones coming up. Don't go away, my friends. We will be right back.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
We're back. This is the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm your host, Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. Please go to robertlanecoaching.com. Would love to have you check out the website, find out more about what I do as an audiobook coach and producer. And again, even on that home screen, you'll see a button to book a call. That's where it all starts. If you're a nonfiction author and you are even thinking about turning your book into an audiobook, you definitely need to narrate it. Book a call with me. No pressure. Let's talk about your book and also get you enrolled, because you can have your audiobook done and narrated and recorded and uploaded for publication in Audible, Amazon, and Apple, and any other distribution platform that works for you by the end of the 6-week program. It's a great thing. So definitely book a call. We have a graphic on the screen. If you can see it, that link is bit.ly/audiobook onboarding. That's the link. And again, you can go to robertlanecoaching.com on the website, which will plenty of buttons there where it says book a call. All right. And of course, the Audiobook Narration Reference Guide, which is my free gift to you, you can also download that on the website as well. And we also have a graphic on the screen that you can check it out. It's another bit.ly link, bit.ly/narration reference guide is the address to grab that free guide. So get yourself a copy. All right. All right, my friends, we have a few more of these traits that I want to go over with you in regards to being the boss. You are the boss. You are the boss of your author brand, 100%. So again, entrepreneurial skills and traits that you have to have. We talked about leadership and management. Got to have that. Again, resilience, tenacity, adaptability, so important to have. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3, and sometimes it's a struggle for people, but number 3 is understanding financials. Understanding financials. This is all the administrative types of things that you need to do. Now, some people love it. Some people, I love numbers, I love math, I love doing this stuff. And that's great. And that's definitely a positive and a great trait to have. For me, personally, this is like the aspect where I'm just like, oh man, but you have to do it, right? Budgeting, cash flow, data tracking, all these things that you need to do to make sure that you are running your author brand, your business as an author, and making calculated risks and making great business decisions. Again, you are the CEO of you, so you're the boss. The decisions that you make are all up to you, so make good ones. And first of all, you made a great decision by writing and publishing your nonfiction book. Right on. Great work. Perfect. Now, there's going to be other decisions that you'll need to make regarding promotion, marketing, sales. Definitely turning your book into an audiobook is a great decision to make because you need to be in the audiobook world. You've got to have your book out there because there's a whole audience that has not discovered you that listens only to audiobooks. And if you're not in there, you're missing out. All right, don't miss out. Get into that market, and you can do that by narrating your own audiobook. So that would be a great business decision. You're going to have to invest into your business and into yourself. Now, I know that it costs money, and I've heard this from some authors, not all authors, but some authors. They're like, I published my book and I did this big deal about launching it, and like I'm not even selling any books, so it wasn't even worth the money I invested. Not true. And again, it comes back to mindset, which is really number one. As an entrepreneur, you have to have a great mindset. It's like what I tell the authors going through the audiobook coaching program is you cannot hit the record button yet, right? Can't hit record until you're in the right frame of mind to do your audiobook narration. You got to be in the right frame of mind. Same thing. You got to be in the right frame of mind as an entrepreneur. And you have to think outside the box. Because if you're just only thinking of, well, my book's up there on, Amazon and it's just not selling. Well, again, you're going to have to figure out what is it that's not working. All right. What's not working? And that actually brings up the next point. All right. We got leadership and management. We have resilience, tenacity, and adaptability. We have understanding financials. And that also leads to problem solving. You have to be a problem solver as an entrepreneur. All right. So let's use that example. My book's up on Amazon, but it's not selling in the capacity that I want it to, or I'm not getting my money back, et cetera, et cetera. I hear all these complaints. Well, don't complain. Solve the issue. Be a problem solver. What is it that you can do to make more book sales? And think outside the box. Think outside the Amazon box. That is not the only place that you should be. You should have your book. You should have it not just in Amazon, but think outside the box. Do speaking engagements. Do book signings. And a lot of you authors do that, which is great. And it's such a smart thing to do because you know what? If you're selling your book, let's say, for $15 on Amazon, all right, you get your author copies. And as an author, you know that when you publish on KDP, on Kindle Direct Publishing, you get your author copies at a very discounted price. Well, get a bunch of books, make that investment. That's a wise investment. And then go on a book signing tour. Get yourself out there, sell your books for $15 or $20 or whatever you're selling it for at these events, at these book events. You're signing a personally autographed book to someone who buys your book. And you're making so much more money by selling it yourself than you are on Amazon. All right? Think about that. You buy, let's say you have a book and it's $10. And let's say you only make, let's say you make $3 or $4 from Amazon, from Kindle, or whatever it is, selling your book. We'll just say $4, let's say if it's a paperback, right? Well, if you're at a book convention and you have a table out there and you're selling your book and you can sell it for $10 or even $15, right? Let's say you sell it for $15. Well, you're still making an $11 profit as opposed to $4, right? You're making way more money. You just doubled your money, more than doubled your money by selling it yourself than just only relying on Amazon. All right. So think outside the box. There are other ways that you can market your book. And again, speaking engagements is great as well. And that's another thing that I talk to the authors who go through the audiobook coaching program is use that audiobook as your calling card to send to event planners and book those speaking engagements. Just say, here's my audiobook. I'm giving it to you for free because I want you to hear what I sound like and how I narrated my book. And this is what you're going to get when I talk about my book to your club, your community, your business, your corporation, whatever you're doing your speaking engagement at. It's a great way to get gigs. And some speaking engagements pay and some pay very well. And even if they don't pay you, you can still set up that table and sell your book. All right. Another great way of making money. So be a problem solver. All right. You are an entrepreneur. You are like that leaf that you drop into a river or a stream. All right. What does that leaf do? It travels, it flows, and it ebbs and flows, and in a sense goes with the flow, which there's nothing wrong with that. But when there is an obstacle, let's say there's some debris or wood or a rock or something, that leaf will figure out a way to get around it. And it does. And that's what problem solving is all about. And that's why it is so important for you as an author, as an entrepreneur, to solve problems. Be a problem solver, not a quitter. Don't give up, okay? That's probably why they voted me most resilient, because I wouldn't give up. Right? I'm doing my coaching business. And when you start off, it's tough. It's a tough road. And there are so many ups and downs, but you just figure out what worked, what didn't work, what can I do differently? This new product I tried didn't work. Fine, dump it. Try something else. Try a different approach. Another great thing that you can do as an entrepreneur, and is something that entrepreneurs do, is find people who do what you do as an author and who are better at it than you. And maybe it's a group of other entrepreneurs, and maybe that they are from different aspects of the entrepreneurial world, but you can still learn from them. So get involved in a mastermind group. That's another great way to talk about other people who do what you want to do, and even people who are mega successful, learn from them. Get into some groups. There's Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups that you can join that focus on entrepreneurship. Get involved in those, okay? That's being smart. That's a smart business decision because, again, you are the CEO of you, right? You are the CEO of you, so make some good business decisions that move your business forward, all right? And again, taking calculated risks are important, like with doing your audiobook. It is a worthwhile investment because it gets you out there and it does boost revenue, not only for your audiobook, but also for your ebook, your paperback, and your hardcover. It does it all, gets all your products out there. And again, you can use your audiobook and your book as a calling card to get book signings and to do speaking engagements and anything else that you want to do from a marketing standpoint. Which brings me to point number 5, which is marketing and sales. You got to be good at marketing and sales. You launch your book, but then if you stop marketing your book, of course your sales are going to go down. It's an ongoing process. So it's really important to set up a timeline and plan it out, right? If it's the fourth quarter of the year and you're going to be starting a new year, then you should already be planning what you're going to do, what your goals are for the following year. Plan it out, all right? Another great thing that you should do as an author is, if you don't have your book as an audiobook, do it. Because if you enroll into a program like what I teach with the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, it's a great tax write-off. It's a business tax write-off. And, I'm telling you, we can't have too many of those when it comes to doing our taxes. Helps me a lot as an entrepreneur and as running Robert Lane Coaching. And as for you as an author brand, it's a great way to not only create an awesome product for your author brand, but again, everything that you do for your book and for your author brand is, you can write it off. It's a great thing, all right? So think of things in those terms. So again, marketing is very important. Marketing your products, marketing not only just your book, because if you're a coach or an entrepreneur and you have other products or services, this is a great way, of course, to promote those as well. And again, just to go over those 5 points, we got leadership and management, we have resilience, tenacity, adaptability. Number 3 is understanding your financials. You need to know what money is going in, what money is being invested, how much money is coming back, how you can build your business. Don't follow shiny objects all the time. Just find something that works for you. All right. Then you have to be a problem solver. Number 4, problem solver. Okay. And then, of course, number 5 is marketing and sales. And you have to understand how to do that and do it well. All right. Those are just the 5 basic things you need as an entrepreneur. This is the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. You can find out more about what I do at robertlanecoaching.com. We're going to take one more quick break, and then I do want to tell you just a little bit more details about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program. We are streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. Rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Hey, my friends, we are back here on the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our topic today has been, you are the boss. You are the boss of your author brand. You are in charge. And that's a great thing. It's a great thing to be an author. It's a great thing to be an entrepreneur and to be a professional writer. And you should always consider yourself as a professional writer because you wrote and published a nonfiction book. And that is a great accomplishment. And turning it into an audiobook is an awesome thing to do because you are just expanding your reach. You're hitting an audience that maybe hasn't even discovered you yet. So it's a great way to enhance your author brand. And so what we went over today on the podcast, of course, are 5 crucial points, traits, skills that you need as an entrepreneur to help enhance and move your author brand business forward, or really just any business, but we're applying it to you as an author. And again, real quickly, that is leadership. That is leadership and management. Kind of combine that together, being able to manage yourself and make great business decisions as being the CEO of you, and being able to manage yourself and manage others as you put together a team of people. The second thing, of course, is being resilient. You have to have resilience, tenacity, and adaptability to be a great entrepreneur and to really move forward with your author brand. And that means don't give up. If something doesn't work, you try another way to figure out how to make it work. Always move your business forward. Don't let things knock you down. Get back up and keep going, all right? Third thing, of course, is financials. You got to understand the financial aspect of your business. Money going in, money coming out. all that, numbers and data. You need to be on top of that so you understand what's going on with your author brand. And of course, making calculated risks that are beneficial to your author brand and making wise investments like turning your book into an audiobook that you narrate, right? The other thing, of course, following that is problem solving. That's point number 4. Problem solving is you have to be a problem solver. Don't quit, don't give up. If something doesn't work, you figure out what you can do to solve that problem. Try something new, try a different angle. Maybe don't do this thing that you tried, or don't try this app that didn't work for you. Try something else. Figure it out. Be a problem solver. And number 5 is you have to understand marketing and sales, because you need to continuously market yourself and boost sales for your author brand and your products, of course, being your ebook, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook. Now, if you don't have an audiobook, as I say, all nonfiction authors need to narrate their own audiobook, because no one can tell your story better than you. You wrote it, you lived it, you breathed it. It is you who created your unique style and your unique voice. And remember, first thing I said when we started this podcast is understanding what your author brand is, which is everything that encompasses who you are. And that unique style, that unique voice is already in your written word. When you do it as an audiobook and you narrate it, you're just bringing that to life so people can actually hear you tell your story. And it's a great thing because you develop such an intimate connection with that person who is listening to your audiobook, because they feel like you're speaking directly to them. And it's such a great thing when you do a compelling and engaging narration. Now, the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program is what I teach as an audiobook coach and producer. I worked 30 plus years in the entertainment business. I still have an audio post-production business as well. But that all encompasses into the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, which is a 6-week program where I take you through the entire process as we work together one-on-one, because everybody is unique, and that's the way that I prefer to work with the authors that go through the program. And I send you the professional equipment that you need to set up your own recording space, which you get to keep forever. It's your equipment. Professional microphone, headphones, all the stuff you need, it's yours. It's part of the program. Show you how to set up your recording space, and then teach you about file management and how to set up your account for being published in Audible, Amazon, and Apple. Walk you through all the process of that. The next phase, of course, is how do you do a great narration? And that's where the coaching really comes in. How to be authentic, how to be conversational, how to keep your listener on the edge of their seat from opening credits to closing credits, how to be compelling with your audiobook narration, and how to do a great delivery, how to be consistent, which is very important. So we go over the practical aspects, physical aspects, mic placement, that kind of thing, but also talk about the intangibles, the things that make a great audiobook, which is the emotion, which is the energy, and making sure that's consistent throughout the entire process. And then once your audiobook is being recorded, you send the files to me, and that's where the coaching hat comes off and the audio editing hat comes on. And as an audio editor, which I've done for so many years, I edit your audiobook, make sure it sounds great, which is basically cleaning it up. I listen to everything in real time. I don't just throw it in some program and go, okay, it's all clean, because that's not good enough. Not in my book, because I don't cut corners. And I listen to everything and make sure that they meet the exact specifications for publication into Audible, Amazon, Apple, and of course, any other distribution platform that you want your audiobook distributed. Once it's there and it's done and it's edited and it's to the right specs, I do the uploading for you. You don't even have to worry about that, because I want to make sure that every audio file that you have created for your audiobook is accepted and is good to go. And once they're good to go, I send all those mastered audio files back to you, because it's yours. You own your audiobook 100%. And I don't take any royalties or anything. Some companies do. I don't. That's not what it's about. So the only step, and it's an easy step, is just to book a call with me, because I talk to all authors to tell them about the program, because I want to make sure you resonate with me as your coach and producer, and I resonate with you, all right? We have a business relationship, so that's why I like to talk to every author before I enroll anybody into the program. So go to robertlanecoaching.com. There's so many places to click on, book a call. All right. Just book a call. And I would love to talk with you and get you enrolled. All right. So the last assignment I have for you, my friends, is this. When you're out and about in the world, smile at a stranger, say hello to them, give them a compliment, because that small gesture of kindness can make the world of difference in somebody's life. Maybe they're having a bad day, but the little act of kindness that you did that takes what, 5 or 10 seconds? Done. You just made somebody's day. And that is such a great thing. All right. Oh, and of course, again, if you go to robertlanecoaching.com, not only can you book your call with me, the link, by the way, goes to my direct calendar. Okay. And you will speak with me directly. There's also, and I mentioned this in the podcast, but you can go to robertlanecoaching.com to grab your free audiobook narration reference guide. All right. So grab that guide. It's a free downloadable PDF that has some really cool tools and techniques that you can utilize to help you do a great audiobook narration. Some of the things that I teach the authors who go through my program. But again, all authors need to narrate their own audiobook. If you're a nonfiction author, you got a great book that's published out there, you need to narrate your own audiobook, and you can do it, and you have what it takes. So don't ever think you don't have a great voice, because you do. All right. Book your call with me. I'd love to talk with you. robertlanecoaching.com is where you need to go. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week on the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. We're streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and we'll be talking to you next week, my friends. So have a great, great week. Take care.
This has been Your Book, Your Voice with host Robert A. Lane. Tune in each week for another powerful and informative episode of Your Book, Your Voice, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network.